Hi, good morning, wherever you're watching me from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome. This morning, we have a topic that will level up your speaking game. Whether you are a speaker who gets paid, or you are that person who's always giving presentations, or you are an entrepreneur who needs to communicate your products and services so that people know your value and can help you, this little session today is really going to help you. I'm talking about one of the tools that speakers use to create impact. So this is not very basic. It's a little more elevated, but you can still learn from it because it's all around you. That little tool, ladies and gentlemen, it is called alliteration. Do you know what that is? So I am a literature major, so I do have that background, but it doesn't even matter whether you use this tool in speaking and writing essays and doing poetry, right? Also in speaking engagements, as I will show you today, you can use this tool of alliteration to pack a punch. And I just did alliteration there, if you're wondering, when I said pack a punch. Can I give you a couple more examples? And perhaps then you can tell me what exactly alliteration is. So here are some other examples. So you know that song, Give Me a Break, Give Me a Break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Kit Kat right there is alliteration. I also drew from some very popular speeches and so on. Let us look at some popular tongue twisters. And remember, you trying to get a definition of what you think alliteration is. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. You remember that? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. What about Sue sells seashells at the seashore? Remember those tongue twisters? But you can go a little more advanced. All back in the day with Shakespeare, he was known for using alliteration in his characters' speeches. So in Macbeth, there's this very famous one: fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air. Did you hear the repetition of the F sound? And so, okay, let me take away the suspense. What exactly is alliteration? It is the repetition of consonant sounds, not vowels, consonant sounds at the beginning of words in proximity to each other. So we had this famous example of alliteration in the words of House of Representatives from in the U.S. Jasmine Crockett. She is this very feisty U.S. senator, not a senator, a House of Representative person. And she's known for the clapbacks. She's known to be able to really say things that are witty. And she employed alliteration a couple months ago, May 31st to be exact. And then she did it again just a couple days ago at the convention, at the Democratic convention, which I think ends tonight. And the first one that she did, I'm not going to play it. I'm gonna play the second one because the first one was a little not very respectful. But in the first instance, there was this woman, other House of Representatives person who was trying to insult Representative Jasmine Crockett. So Marjorie Taylor Greene said to her, I don't think you can hear, because they were going back and forth, right? And then Marjorie Taylor Greene says to Jasmine Crockett, I don't think you can hear because of the fake eyelashes that you have. Anywho, who told her to say that, like we say in my country, St. Lucia? She immediately turns back to her, Jasmine Crockett. This is after AOC tried to come with her, like, very millennial. I don't even know what she said then, but then Jasmine Crockett very calmly, like a sniper, asked to take the floor, and she says that she wants to know what would happen if a bleach blonde, bad built, and then she said butch body, and tried to insult her. So it was the repetition of the B sound, that consonant sound, and that it's very forceful. And the fact that it was such a quick comeback. I think all of these things added to how that little exchange went viral. And of course, that was perhaps not for good, although I mean she got attacked, right? And I don't quite appreciate the epithets in there. I wouldn't want anybody to put like an N word in there. make it rhyme with anything, make it sound like anything. So the butch body too, I think for me is a problem. But what I liked that Jasmine Crockett did, and that I think I can play, is that she repeated the whole technique of alliteration, which you can use in your speeches. You can use to create to pack a punch and to create effect in whatever you're talking about. You can also do that. Jasmine Crockett did it as again at the DNC, and I wanted to play that right now. Let's see if I can. Oh my goodness, did I find it? Oh no. Okay, you guys, I'm looking for it, but I thought I had it right there, and it doesn't seem that I do. Let's see if I found it again. Oh, okay, let me type it quickly. But I want to discuss just the benefits of using alliteration in your speeches, because a speech is not just a speech. It's not just the words that come out of your mouth. And I think one of my aims in my programs, my aims as a keynote speaker and as somebody who teaches speaking to speakers, right? One of my aims is for us to take it out of the grunge work and to take it into the realm of being art. When you speak, you give people the gift of yourself. You give people the gift of a speech. One of the things that I love doing is obviously evaluating speeches, but to see a speech so raise something in you that it brings you to tears, or it makes you stand up a little straighter, it makes you nod your head, it makes you feel something that you didn't feel before. One of my aims is to do that for speakers, to become that kind of person, that kind of speaker who is able to generate that kind of emotion in people, get your message across, persuade people, entertain them, make them think, and, just basically add to the joy and the aesthetics of living, because a great speech can do all of those things. Okay, I think I found the video again. And so it's only 27 seconds. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me. Let me put it on big screen, and I'm going to share the video. You tell me if you can hear it. I really hope you can, because it's a really good example, and perhaps not a very good example, and I'll tell you why. All right, let's see if we can do that. Can you see me? Okay, I'm going to let's go. Let me just put it as loudly as I can and hope you can hear it. If not, you can go check it out on.
For us is, will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision? For a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style.
Right. Okay. So you saw what she just said there. I hear that alliterations are back in style. Did you hear that? Let me know, please. Let me just stop screen sharing and come back to default. Okay. So what did that do for you? This is a little teaching moment. This is, I teach this in my advanced speaking classes. We don't get to that in Speak with Confidence. We will get to it with my Find Your Fire program. Did you hear the alliteration there? Find your fire. So when you repeat that first consonant sound, it's not a vowel sound, okay? So it's not A-E-I-O-U, it's all of the other letters that you're repeating. It's not the letters actually, it's the sound. Because for example, I could say the clingy kangaroo. I am not repeating the letter, I'm repeating the K sound. And that hard sound can create something in you. Okay, it can evoke an emotion. And so the call and the little piece that I'm adding to your life this morning is to make you aware that these tools are available to you. And so it means that if I can use alliteration in either my poetry, either to start my speech, either as I have done for my upcoming program, Find Your Fire, repeating the F sound right there, it does an earnest thing to you. What is my fire? Oh my, it's almost unrelenting. And that is exactly what I wanted to create. That is available to you as well. Okay, either if you're doing a speech, if you want to perhaps deepen the sense of gravity, you might want to use syllables, not syllables, like you want to use sounds that reflect that. For me, I looked back, just getting ready for this little class, just thinking about my own journey with alliteration. And it's very important. Like, please listen. I know it might be a little high level. I'll tell you more about these things as we go along. Just stick with me. We're going to be doing a lot of it on a Thursday in particular. Okay. So, by the way, you guys, before we continue, I have something to tell you. I'm going to be doing my first LinkedIn audio event and I want you to attend. Oh my goodness. Let me put it in the chat right here. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Let me just show it here. No, that would not be it. That would be, let me see how I get that again. See if I can perhaps just put it in here. All right, let's see if that would work. There we go. All right, I just put it in the chat again. And so you can see, you can go up there and sign. It's on September 8th. It's a Sunday event. People are already signing up. I'm just sending out a whole bunch of invitations. But even if you don't see an invitation from me, by all means, please share and attend, because there are things that a lot that speakers know. Confident speakers have a certain mindset that I want to teach you. So you're going to come with your questions. As I said, I'm not just somebody who is on stage speaking. I also train speakers, and so I want to share that knowledge in my first LinkedIn audio event on the 8th of September. That would be a Sunday at 12 noon MST. Sign up, please, and the link is right there for you to sign up. Last thing is, oh my goodness, there's a lot to tell you before we continue. My new podcast is out today. Let me just put that up. And today we're looking at like cleaning up your diet. 3 things a woman must control. I did part 1 and then I got scared. Let me take this off the screen. No, I did part 1 and I was like, oh my God, what I said was true, but it's really stepping into something I thought was like, it is bigger than me, but it really is from, I'm like, when I look at my life, if I can control those 3 things, I will be in a better state of control. My sex drive, even as a married person, my food, and of course my money. And it just rings true. It's logical on so many levels to be able to be that high producer, to be able to be the person who shows up authentically. And I guess with little backlash, that kind of way. So if you can control those 3 things, you are in a better state of control. And so in part 1, I took the hardest one and I spoke about like controlling your sex drive as a woman. And then part 2, I followed up today. So go to my website. You can go wherever you get podcasts. Let me just put it up again. You can enjoy episode number 29, 3 things a woman must control, part 2. Don't forget that. Okay. So let's continue now with our talk on alliteration. Where can you use it? If you are an entrepreneur, one thing they say is that you can use alliteration, which is the repetition of sounds, consonant sounds in words that are close to each other in one sentence, one statement, etc. You can use it in the title of your program or product or something. Also, you can use alliteration in a speech to create wonder, to create excitement, to create, for me, I use it a lot to create a sense of like being fierce and being determined and having fire. So I'm surprised that I named my program, my upcoming speaking program, Find Your Fire. That program will be launching in October, which is why I'm doing all of these things. The audio events, one in September, another one is going to be in October as well before we launch, to just entice people to take speaking further. Either you have the gift of the gab and you're underutilizing it. You can speak, okay? As we say, you can speak for days. If you're that person, Find Your Fire is for you. There's also a category of people who I train in my signature program, Speak with Confidence. That's the name of the program, and that is happening once a year. So we've had it this year. We had a full contingent, full 10 people. Well, we actually had more than 10 this time, and it will be happening in April. So you can go to my website, lisamdublin.com/ lisamdublin.com, and then you can just click on the speaking tab and you can see it there. Okay. So I thought I would give you an example from my own brain to show you how it works. Or before I do that, I have one more example taken from Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Do you know next week around this time, August 28th, I think, it's going to be the anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech. And so I will be on, of course, God willing, and this will be the speaking day. So we're going to look at that speech. You might have heard it a long time ago. I'm hoping I can play some snippets of it, that LinkedIn doesn't cut me off. But we want to look at what makes that speech great. Like, it wasn't a perfect speech. He wasn't the best orator. What about the speech makes it so memorable and makes it one of those speeches that people always talk about? Okay, so we will examine that. But let me give you something, and you can hear the alliteration. Let's see if you can pick it up in what I say. And this is from Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Are you ready? This is at the beginning, if I recall. 50 years ago, a great America, in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. I'll say it again. 50 years ago, a great American, in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, so there was a repetition of the S sound. Did you hear it? Symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the emancipation, in whose symbolic shadow we stand today, signed the Emancipation Proclamation. The repetition of the S sound, it sounded dreamy, it sounded inspirational. On the other hand, somebody like me will use the sounds that will pack a punch. Are you ready? Tell me what you like. I write a lot of my poetry for women, because I'm a woman and that's who's in my head, right? It's not always the case with poets. But let's say I was writing a poem to get women to get up and get moving. My poem might sound like this. You'll tell me if you like it or not. Girl, get, girl, go, girl, grab life by the nape of the neck and make a mess of mischief. Oh my goodness. But I felt that, I should go write that poem. I actually did. I put together a couple. Girl, get, girl, go. Girl, grab life by the nape of the neck and make a mess of mischief. I do that a lot in my poetry because what happens is it evokes emotion. And so let me just end here. We just have a couple minutes. So girl, get, I'll probably end with that anyway. The whole point in using alliteration, it shows wit. It shows you're on your game. And when you are a speaker, you want to do everything in your power to further and deepen your credibility before your audience. And that is one of the ways to do it. I'm not just coming to give you a run of the mill speech. No, I've taken the time to use my brain to put together something that is art and not just science, something that you can enjoy even while you learn. And so the call is, when you have a speech to prepare, when you are going to give a speech, take your time with the thing. I had this poet friend. I remember sitting in a poetry workshop with him, Vladimir Lucian. And Vladimir said to him, poetry is like steeping tea, like putting a tea bag. And like the longer you stay with it, is the more it makes sense. And it's the same thing with writing your speech and getting into the practice of it. The more time you have with it, to craft it, to put your essence on it, is the better it's going to sound, be, taste, smell, all the things to your audience. A speech is not just the words that come out of your mouth. It's everything. It's how you show up. It's the conviction with which you speak. It's what you want to leave the audience with, and all of the pieces of art that you put into the speech. For example, alliteration. That's one of them. Like, I love teaching about speaking, and I hope to inspire you to take on that gift that God gave you. Or if you want to be a speaker, you don't have to be, listen, you don't have to have the gift of the gab. You don't have to have words coming out of you like days. You don't have to be able to speak fluently or just have words. And no, you just have to have something to say and to earnestly want to say it and help somebody. I think these are the prerequisites for being a great speaker. Everything else you can learn. People like me can teach you. But there are many people who unfortunately can speak up a storm. There I go again with alliteration. Speak up a storm, okay? They have words, like words for days. But they're empty. You don't want to be that kind of speaker. You want to be somebody who packs a punch. I hope you enjoyed this today. I'm going to jump over on Instagram and teach it as well, so you can join me there. I just want to show you a couple things. I'm going to be on tomorrow. We change tunes a little bit. Talk about what makes a relationship good, what makes a relationship last. I'm having this topic in light of the fact that obviously even in your own circles, I'm sure people breaking up, and we had this very high profile breakup, Jennifer and Ben Affleck. Jennifer, yeah, well, but you know who I mean, right? And they've broken up again. So it's like, okay, can two people survive who are so high profile? What does it take for people to make it in a relationship? That will be tomorrow. So a couple of things. I need you to join me Saturday only on YouTube. As in spite of this professional thing, I deeply love God. And it's not even a matter of separating out the two. It's like God is just so awesome that he needs his own time. So on a Saturday, we're talking about the journey of faith. And I specifically want to speak about stepping out of the boat. There's a part of the story when Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on the water that we miss. And it is that he left behind all of those people who were afraid in the boat with him, for him to go after something bigger. So join me on Saturday. If you go to my website, go to YouTube and sign up for the Basement Chronicles website, then you will be notified whenever I post something, whenever I go live. So you want to do that. And on Sunday, I'm so happy for this. Last thing I want to say before I leave. On Sunday, I will be interviewing Greg Davis from right here in Edmonton. I'm really excited. My Sunday interviews will just be local, will be for people here, first to get to know each other, for me to add my little bit to the conversation that's happening amongst the Black community in particular, and perhaps a subset being the immigrant community, because the two things are not always the same, okay? So I'll be interviewing Greg. He is a well-known radio host, publisher, events person, and has done so much in this space. And I'm going to have that conversation with him on Sunday, so you can join me then. And so don't forget, you guys, last thing, sign up for the LinkedIn audio event. I just put the link in the chat, so you can go get it there, grab it, sign up, and I'll see you tomorrow right here on Basement Chronicles Live. Bye.